So that's the beauty of RxVantage that I love, is you can just go to our rep directory, type in a medication or a product, and there you go. That's you can see your sales rep, find MSLs, FRMs, etc.
Now a message from Sun Pharmaceuticals. For patients with locally advanced basal cell carcinoma who are not candidates for further surgery or radiation, hedgehog pathway inhibitors offer a targeted systemic approach. Staying current on these therapies can help you expand options for appropriate patients. Welcome to That's Derm Good. Today, my guest is Kate Alcaraz. Kate is the Senior Account Executive overseeing dermatology practice growth at RxVantage. Hi, Kate. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Janelle. So good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Yes, so good to see you. We always see each other at conferences.
I love that, because I know no matter where I go, there you are. You're at every conference. It's like Miss Rabbit, when you go to different places.
Yes, it's always nice to see you too. You always have a beautiful smile on your face. And, I feel like we always end up talking for hours.
Yeah, always. Absolutely. We need to do dinner next time we see each other, though. I keep thinking about that.
Yes. So I'm excited to chat a little bit about RxVantage. Over the last few years, it's become a little bit more popular, and, my team has used it. So before we jump into that all the way, what is your background and how did you get into the derm space?
Yeah, so my background, I've been in derm for about 14 years now, and I actually joined derm in Seattle with a startup. And it was basically a community for dermatology and plastic surgery that built exposure and educated people online about different procedures that you could get, anything derm and plastics related. So my job was to reach out to all the dermatology and plastic surgery practices and make sure that they were engaging in this startup online to build their exposure. Potential patients could Google a dermatology question and get live answers from dermatologists or plastic surgeons. That way they could get educated before they went in to get a treatment done, and they knew what to expect.
Yeah. Oh, that is smart.
Yeah. So I worked with them for years. Then I was in the social media space helping dermatologists and plastic surgeons grow their presence online through Instagram. Now everything's TikTok too, but it was, Facebook and Instagram for a while. And then I was recruited to RxVantage back, oh my gosh, when was it? 2018 or so. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm totally off. I was thinking kids' ages. And when I started, it was 2021 is what I heard. Yeah, around there somewhere.
It all blurs together.
Yeah. And here at RxVantage, my job is to build exposure about how RxVantage can help dermatology practices and their staff, their teams, save time, just because everybody's juggling so much right now with the growth of the industry and so many medications, lots of patients, all that.
So usually I find that most people that get into dermatology, they absolutely fall in love with it because dermatology is fun. You're working with so many cool doctors and NPs, PAs. I just feel like everybody in the derm space has always just been a good time.
Right. It's so true. Once you join derm, you don't leave derm. Whether you're part of a practice or you're a rep, everybody stays. Haven't you noticed that?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
You move around a little bit, but it's still in the dermatology space. So yeah, it's so big, but it's so small. Everybody knows everybody almost.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's like you have so many friends over the years. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, what led you to RxVantage and why does this work resonate with you?
It resonates with me because I always like to work with a company that's doing something that's helping the greater good, and it's growing an industry. That's why I was with my previous startups, because it was doing something obviously to help patients get educated online. So now what really kind of sparked my interest with RxVantage and why I decided to join the company is that it's really game changing and changing the way that practices get a hold of information on medications, contact reps, get samples in the door, basically get the resources they need to help patients and save time. So for me, it really is a game changer for the industry. It's very innovative because overall it's helping providers see more patients. It's helping staff get more things done during the day. And it's making a difference. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what led me to the company. It's got to be a company you work for, I feel like, that's really helping the greater good. So.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so for those that have not heard of RxVantage, can you tell me a little bit about what it is and how it really helps offices?
Absolutely. So the way I always explain RxVantage, it is the one-stop shop for everything pharma and rep related. So it's a platform that streamlines everything that has to do with reps in pharma to save you time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what it is, as a whole, from getting samples in the door quicker to keeping track of who your reps are and finding reps more easily, to streamlining your scheduling, to helping with patient assistance tools. It's like your hub for reps.
Wow. It's so important because, for me working on the access side, I run into so many coordinators and office staff that are like, yeah, I don't know who our rep is, or I don't know who can reach out. Is there, a resource for that? Is there support there? And I love that you can get into this app and you can find out who the reps are. Most of the time, like when I went in there, I was seeing updates on reps in the area. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's the new rep. I didn't know who it was. And a lot of times I find that information there before I actually see them in the office or, talk
Totally.
to them.
The thing is like when it comes to finding reps, that is so time consuming for
Mm-hmm.
whether you're a medical assistant or a practice manager, provider, biologic coordinator. You're calling companies, trying to get a hold of managers to find out who's covering. Somebody's on maternity leave. It's like, it ends up being such an ordeal. You have to wait for a call back sometimes, or you don't even hear from anybody. That could be an hour or two that you spend trying to find a rep that you could be tackling one of your other jobs, in the office. So that's the beauty of RxVantage that I love, is you can just go to our rep directory, type in a medication or a product, and there you go. You can see your sales rep, find MSLs, FRMs, etc.
Oh, wow. So you can also schedule meetings with them as well.
Yeah, consider it like almost like I like to say like the Facebook of reps plus people kind of.
That's a good analogy. I like that one.
We're all on social media, and
Mm-hmm.
using apps and everything. So yes, so when it comes to scheduling appointments with reps, that also is a time sucker, because if you're doing it over your phone and they're texting you, well, there might be a back and forth chain that's going on for 2 days over an appointment, because you pause, you're busy, then they pause because they're busy, then that time doesn't work. It's this big thing. Or the reps having to drive in and go over the paper calendar and then call the practice if they have to reschedule. So
Mm-hmm.
you literally, as a practice, you can plug in lunch slots, breakfast slots, coffees or snacks, sample drop windows, meetings for just MSLs, for instance, or FRMs. Practices can also note dietary preferences, favorite catering places, coffee orders, all of that. So it's just plug and play. The reps can look up the office, see everything they need to know, and then go to the calendar to book.
Yeah. Previously, one of my old offices that I worked in was a large practice. And there were like, oh, so and so doesn't like onions. So and so doesn't eat this. So it was always a mess trying to coordinate a lunch that everybody is okay with and trying to get this stuff figured out. Like, that is a lot of work. It can, like you said, it
Oh,
takes so much time. So if you could just type everything in there, does it save a lot of that information
oh
for the
yeah.
reps?
Oh my gosh. I constantly every day when I'm building offices with them, because whenever an office wants to get set up, I'll show them everything and then customize it. And so they hit the ground running. No onions. Somebody doesn't like onions. Somebody's vegan. Somebody's gluten free. We've got a kosher employee. We might have halal, or the list goes on. Any preferences you have, you can just put them in there so the reps don't miss it. And they like it because they don't want to get things wrong, of course.
Right.
So
So what kind of feedback have you gotten from practices after they've started using it?
that's what I love so much about this role. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
The practices just sign up and they love it. So I'm always so thankful to hear from the practices. They say, oh my gosh, usually this is what I hear. Why didn't we do this 5 years ago? Just because
Yeah.
that back and forth involved with samples and lunches and snacks, it's just plug and play. And then you're alerted when a rep books, confirms, messages you about food, all of
Mhm.
that. So yeah, we hear really positive feedback. Several years ago, it was new. So everybody, was kind of unsure about it. Once they got set up, they loved it. But now there's a lot of word of mouth going on, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So do you think a lot of people are using this instead of just dropping in or kind of helping to prevent some of that drop in time where the reps, they're not going to be able to meet with the doctor. They're not going to be able to have a conversation. Oh, today's not a great day. We're super busy. We don't have time to talk. That can kind of eliminate some of that when you're scheduling that time out and you're setting that time aside to say, hey, this is when we have availability to chat and talk more about, a drug or something.
Yeah, that's exactly, I'd say a lot of derm offices, that's why they want to use it now, is because rather than reps coming in and then wasting their time when the clinic's a zoo or the provider isn't there, they can see when the providers are in and they know the practice is aware they're walking through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's why I'd say about 50% of derm offices are using RxVantage probably now. We're at about that. Of course, we cover all specialties, but I'm just talking derm
Mm-hmm.
here. Yeah. And then the reps, at first, Janelle, naturally, it was something new, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
like, what is this, that I'm having to go on and book years ago? I'm used to just dropping in or calling, but they
Right.
love it now because they can go online and they can see, okay, this is when they want me to come in. They can do
Mm,
all their scheduling at night when they're planning their week, on the
right.
weekends, and they can book that time ahead without having to wait for a text back or a call back or having to drive
Yeah.
across town just to schedule.
Yeah. No, that makes so much sense. I mean, now there's so much in the market right now for dermatology. I mean, there's so many biologics.
Yeah.
There's some companies that have two sales reps and an FRM for one drug. And so that time is, you've got multiple people coming in all day long. And, these offices are busy. And I feel like it just keeps getting busier and busier with the more and more medications that are available and that come out. So having something like this is so valuable, I think, in, just back in, now I'm working remote mostly, but when I was in the office, I mean, this is, and I hate to say this, there's always that one person that takes advantage and that just comes in and like busts through the doors and just stands and talks to you and are like, hey, I'm busy. And it's like that one person that messes it up for everybody else. And they're like, hey, we can't have any more reps in here because, so and so messed it up. And
Oh,
it happens, but this
yeah.
kind of helps to prevent that from happening. It kind of helps to set the tone so that everybody has that equal opportunity to be able to connect with an office.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you're so right about that. It's like mostly everybody's wonderful. They're your friends. They do a great job, but then there's one rascal out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
There's
there's
always one.
always one. Yeah. And the thing is this is totally customizable. So sometimes from a practice that, is really kind of, they've been doing things, with their paper calendar for a while, or they have their
Mhm.
process, they're a little scared because they're worried they're going to lose control. So that's the beauty of it. There's customizations we set up for you so it does what you need it to. So
Mhm.
maybe, you want it to where your reps can come in as much as they need to, but maybe one company, maybe you want them to just come once a month. You can tailor
Mhm.
that. Or maybe
Right.
you want to approve reps to book, not by appointment, but just have like basically an approved list of your reps. So that way you can weed out maybe something you're not interested in. You can do that too. You
Mhm.
literally can do anything. But the reps like it now just because it allows them, they know when they schedule, that office is ready for them.
Yeah.
So, and they know what to expect. They know how long they should stay, who's going to be present, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking too is some of my team is using RxVantage and all my team works remote. So
Yes.
it's nice because now they're not missing some of those conversations with the FRMs or the reps because they're not in the office. And I've been seeing that where, some of the coordinators, they get missed. They don't get to talk to anyone because they're not actually in the office. So when the rep comes in and wants to chat with them, they're not there. So, it's like, oh, tell so and so. So it's like somebody from the office is trying to relay an information to the coordinator. it's easier this way, so then they can directly call them, set up a video chat or something as well.
Mhm.
And, it makes it a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that your team's liking it. The biologic coordinators out there, they're my favorites to
Hmm.
work with. And we can do like you said, a virtual biologic coordinator calendar. So you have your office calendar, and then you have your virtual calendar for FRMs to meet with
Hmm.
the BCs, as well as some sales reps. Sometimes the BCs want to talk to sales reps or MSLs, to schedule. And then that way they can go on the calendar and they can book a virtual meeting. And then if they do want to host lunch for the biologic coordinator, they can always just DoorDash them a link, which is nice.
Yeah, that is
So,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Now a message from Sun Pharmaceuticals. For patients with locally advanced basal cell carcinoma who are not candidates for further surgery or radiation, hedgehog pathway inhibitors offer a targeted systemic approach. Staying current on these therapies can help you expand options for appropriate patients. So what else is on the app? I know I've been through there a little bit, not a whole lot, but what else is available? Other like resources, things like
Yeah.
that? I know you mentioned there's a lot on this on the
Yeah. Oh,
website.
we have so much that we're going to be adding over the next year, which I'm very excited about. I love.
Oh, can we talk about that?
Well,
I like to know.
I know. I always like to, I'm always pestering our design team and developers about when's this coming out or when's that. So yes, we'll talk a little bit about that. But the events area, it's newer. But what's neat about the events area is reps can go in and post dinner invites. They can
Mm,
also post conferences, to attend for the industry, webinars, online webinars. So that's nice for practices that aren't super close to the city or biologic coordinators, things like that. And you
hmm.
can actually go in as a practice and you can RSVP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're
Okay.
really trying to push that and get reps to post more of their events.
Yeah.
So I'm sure reps are listening to this, now they know they can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, Also, a lot of it's really cool how the industry is progressing in terms of patient assistance technology, just to streamline things more. But
Hmm.
for a lot of your, smaller practices that aren't part of large groups, they're still going on the manufacturer websites to pull the patient assistance enrollment forms.
Hmm.
And what's neat about RxVantage is we're like the house for all of those updated enrollment forms.
Mm.
So you can grab them in English and Spanish. It downloads it right to your computer, or you can print it, as well as a discount card that helps out on derm medications.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I didn't realize that. So, is there a cost for the reps, or because you said it's free for the office to use?
Yeah. So the reps, think of it like the LinkedIn model. So
Mm,
most of us are on the free account, and we just do
yeah.
our thing. There are upgraded options that's more of like an enterprise agreement that
Okay.
RxVantage has with some of the different pharmaceutical companies and such, where basically it just gives them extra bells and whistles.
Hmm.
So I don't actually personally know cost wise about the enterprise contracts, but
Hmm.
the reps either use our free account or some of them have our upgraded one and they just book
Okay.
away. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that though. You get such good analogies. I like that.
thank you. But in the future, what I'm pestering our team about, launching in the future is just more options in terms of streamlining the food ordering and drink
Mm,
ordering, just making that even better. Also in the directory, we're really working to be able to allow offices to quickly see reps by distance, be
mm,
able to quickly see, okay, here's my FRM sales rep, just with less clicks, things like,
yeah.
MSL, et cetera. Also on the rep side, easier visibility to practices in their area. So better searching functionality, able to, look offices up, just easier, just to make it easier and quicker
Hmm.
for them. Because we want
Yeah.
this to be a tool that allows them to find offices and book easier, and
Right.
this is to find the reps. So
Yeah. So who keeps all of this information updated? Is it the reps that have to go in and make sure that they're connected in there and that they're updated? Or, if there's an office, they're like, hey, I'm new to this and I have no idea who my reps are. Can they just go in there and find everybody? How does that work?
yeah, so you were asking very good questions. Um, so here's how we're doing it right now to keep that directory updated. So we now are getting updated monthly rosters of all the reps at these companies because, my friend here might be at Sun Pharma 1 month and then she gets recruited somewhere else. You know how it's going right now in the
Yeah.
industry. So that way we get accurate rosters and we're constantly updating that data in our system. So that way you can find your rep. On top of that, reps, when they change product or medication, and they usually stay in derm, again, the beauty of that, we don't leave, even if we change companies, they'll go to LinkedIn and they'll go to RxVantage and update their profiles right away. So it's good. I always recommend to reps, if you're switching, as soon as you change companies, make sure to update your profile because otherwise we're going to have to wait for that monthly roster check.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I know. I feel like you said, that it happens so often. People change, move around, and like, wait a minute, so-and-so didn't tell me they were leaving and I don't know where they are. Who's taking over? So that's really nice to know that you guys are constantly keeping that up to date. It makes it so much easier when you're trying to find information.
Yes, exactly. There's certain markets that were really standoffish about RxVantage. And then now they're like, oh my gosh, I went in there and requested samples and the rep replied right away. And we're having reps. Wow. Oh yeah. They're like, it made it so fast. And so it makes me so happy when I hear that. I'm like, yes, okay, it's doing what it needs to do. That's great.
Yes. So what are you most excited about in terms of where RxVantage is going next?
I am most excited about us just continuing to develop the industry to where we know or the offices know, okay, I can go to RxVantage. I can find everything I need. I can make sure I'm seeing the reps I need. I'm getting all information about updates on medications or new releases. Like, I'm excited for us truly to be the industry hub where you can go as a practice and you can learn about anything that has to do with these products and medications and connect with who I need to. That this is like the resource for the industry. So I'm excited about that. Just the fact that across all specialties, that's what we're becoming. And on the rep side, being in the industry for so long, working with practices, I'm really excited to help reps reach more offices and just make it easier for them because their jobs are hard. They're driving around, they're stopping by all these practices. Having a tool just to connect with them so much easier and save time and reach more providers with new info. It's so important, not only for the teams, but for the patients to learn and be able to use these new solutions.
I've always been a huge advocate of connecting like with your sales reps and with your FRMs because there's so much information. There's new indications that come out, new medications that are, being approved by the FDA, like every month it feels like. So it's nice to know, like, okay, what information do I need to be able to share with my patients to make sure that they can get access, they can get the resources, and they can get the tools and support. And, unfortunately, there's still offices that are closed off that don't allow the reps to come into the office. Do you find that they're able to connect on RxVantage if they're not actually allowed to physically go into the offices?
So there's a few different options for that. Yes. And there definitely are those derm offices out there. So a few different options. One option is a virtual situation. So the offices, what I'll encourage is that they'll do maybe have a 15-minute, even virtual lunch that they allow reps to book. And they've been really receptive of that. That way the rep can DoorDash food, still send food. The staff's happy. They get a little lunch break, get some food without having to run out. And then the providers can just hop on a quick meeting link, learn about something new that's coming out. So that's one way to do it. Another option is that the offices that are completely closed out, allowing even a sample drop or a brochure drop or an information drop that's even 5 minutes. I'll encourage them to have that a few times a week, just so the rep can get the information to the providers, even if it's passed on.
Yeah.
So that's what I encourage if the office is totally closed off to reps to still at least allow an information drop or a virtual environment.
Yeah. You got to get something in there. I mean, I think it's so beneficial for patients when you've got all the details as far as support goes and what information you need to provide to your patients to make sure that they're getting everything that they need to get started on medications.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I try to encourage those offices to use our system, our platform
Mm-hmm.
to request samples and reach out to reps, you know, to really connect those providers when they need information and
Mm-hmm.
allow reps to do their job, at least in some way, to get that information across. So,
Right. Yeah. So you're at a lot of conferences. Do
yeah.
you run into people that are like, I've never heard of this. This is amazing. What is that are
Yes.
just like baffled?
Okay. So at the conferences, yes, there's a lot of that. I saw you at it, of course, the spring, was it spring PA conference? Yes, in
Yeah.
DC. And a lot of the providers didn't know about RxVantage just because the staff
Mm-hmm.
handles it so much. So it was really cool to be able to educate the providers because at the end of the day, a lot of them, they're meeting with the reps. So it's important to know what's connecting them. So I really enjoyed that. I find at the conferences, thankfully, there's like a lot of word of mouth and a lot of the conference attendees know about us now. But when if I don't have a slam day, I will pick up the phone and just dial practices. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not kidding you. I love doing that. And I will call practices that didn't know about us. And they're like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. And it's my favorite thing to tell them about it. And
Oh,
then
that's great.
I try to find something that's going to help them. Are they having trouble finding reps? Are they having trouble getting samples? Do they want more reps coming in? Do they
Mm-hmm.
want more of a streamlined process? What can we help with? I try to figure that out and then do my
Mm-hmm.
best to get them access. So,
Yeah. I think it's all about the connection, knowing where your support is, how you can really help provide the best for your patients. That's one of the biggest things that I've always, focused on within my company is, okay, how can we make this easier, make this process, less steps, less headaches for the staff to have to worry about because, they're so busy. They're seeing patients all day long. Taking that time to be able to know, okay, what kind of processes can we put in place and make it a little bit more streamlined to smooth out, all of those little hiccups and things that come up on a
yeah.
regular basis.
Yeah, totally. And I'm so thankful for the derm reps out there because
Mhm.
over the last year, oh my gosh, Janelle, so many of them have been telling offices about us and the offices that wouldn't talk to me and they're like,
Mhm.
absolutely not. I'm not changing my process now. They're going on and registering. They're going on our website and registering. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's
Look at,
great.
yeah, they just need the reps to kind of explain it to them and show them. And then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
so I'm just so thankful for the community, the derm community,
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
great. And you guys are in like all other specialties?
Oh yeah, so it's a
Wow.
building out there. We cover everything. We're really big in oncology and gastro and rheum and
Hmm.
neuro. Multi-specialty practices use us, OBGYN clinics,
Oh, wow.
primary care in general. Yeah.
Okay. Is dermatology behind the game or is are they more advanced?
Yeah, derm is like on top of it.
Okay.
Derm, all the reps, most all derm reps are on RxVantage now. It's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have to say that our specialty is definitely kind of leading the pack.
That's good. Good to know. I mean, that was kind of my question. I wanted to know. I love it.
I feel like derm embraces technology a lot
Hmm.
and streamlining things. Like if you look at a derm practice website versus primary care, it's usually a world of difference. Like they're pretty
Hmm.
big on like online patient scheduling, things like that.
Hmm.
So it's like
And the
usually when you talk,
aesthetic.
yeah, the aesthetic,
Yeah.
exactly. And they tend to just they're like, okay, this is cool. This is going to help me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Okay. So my last question,
Yes.
what advice do you have for any office that's still managing reps the old fashioned way?
Change is hard. When you've been doing things the same way for a while, it is hard sometimes to make the adjustment. But
Hmm.
I always suggest try setting up a free account. You know, give me a call, shoot me an email, message me through our website, however you want to do it. It's once you set it up, all my practices are like, oh my gosh, this
Hmm.
is so easy. It's just change. Just try something different because it
Right.
takes 20 minutes to set up. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And I do
Change is
everything.
hard sometimes, but
Yeah,
yeah, it
it's
can be
changes.
worth it.
Yeah. So basically the way it works is I get everybody built. They always have a friend here. I'm always here. But then my partner, Leticia, she works to check in regularly just to make sure settings are right, providers, schedules are updated, all of that. I've got a couple other team members that help. And then we just make sure that everything's going well. So we'll hold your hand through the process as a new practice and make it really easy.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Well, that is exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing about any new updates that you guys have coming out. But thank you so much for your time and chatting with me a little bit about this. It's been really, I think it's a huge benefit for offices and a huge help. It's all about kind of streamlining your process, your workflow, taking a little bit off your plate to make your job a little bit easier. Now you can work. You don't have to worry about scheduling stuff. You can just work, get stuff done.
Exactly. Don't get interrupted every 2 minutes or get onions on your lunch if you don't like onions.
Right. Too. So if anybody is looking to find you or connect, they want to talk more, hear more about RxVantage, how can they reach you? How can they find you?
Okay. So my email, it's long, Spanish. It's Kate, Kate.Alcaraz, ALCARAZ @RxVantage.com. My cell number, 310-736-0962. And also when you do go to our website, you can sign up for an account. It's going to go to me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the office, make sure everything looks good, show them how to use it. They'll be up and running within 20 minutes or so.
Nice.
So, yeah. So if you go to our website, you will hear from me. I'll get notified.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kate. It was good talking to you.
Thank you, Janelle, so much. I always enjoy talking to you, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what we're doing over here.
Yes.
All right.
Now a message from Sun Pharmaceuticals. For patients with locally advanced basal cell carcinoma who are not candidates for further surgery or radiation, hedgehog pathway inhibitors offer a targeted systemic approach. Staying current on these therapies can help you expand options for appropriate patients. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me and listening to That's Derm Good. You can expect new episodes of That's Derm Good every week. The podcast is available on your favorite app, including where you're listening right now. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. Bye.